Yo, RX, sadly, back with another breakdown of UFC 293. Not gonna say the main event because it doesn't deserve it, because this card is beyond pathetic. This is literally an Apex card they're charging $80 for. So, yeah, if you can't tell, I'm not fucking excited for this card. And to be honest, this is gonna be one of the few breakdowns I give where I just don't care. This will probably be one of the shortest breakdowns ever. And just don't expect too much. I don't care. Let's be honest, you don't care. No one cares about this card. The UFC didn't care about it. That's why they booked it. It's like a fucking clown show. So, yeah, not very much to say. I'm not excited for this card, but I'll break it down anyway. So, before I do, please like, comment, sub. 100 subs go by the end of the year. And as always, ready to break down some fights? I don't want to, but it's only 12 fights, and I'll be honest, a couple of those fights probably ain't getting a breakdown. Actually, I know they ain't, so, yeah. So, let's talk about this card, sadly. Don't even want to waste your time or my time, because, again, I don't care about this card. So, yeah. So, enough talk. Let's just break down this card. And we begin with a fight I'm not going to break down, as we have Kevin Jowsett versus Kiefer BDK Crosby. I know literally not a thing about these guys besides one goes to SBG and one goes to shitty kickboxing. I don't know. I don't care. Next fight. After that, we head to 145 for a very low level fight, with one term I would use for it, as we have Shane Young versus Gabriel Fly Miranda. What is everyone named fucking Fly on this card? Let's talk about Shane Young. Shane in the UFC is 2-4. Jesus fuck. His 2 wins are Rolando Dye and Austen Arnett. His 4 losses are Alexander Volkanovski, Ludovic Klein, Omar Morales, and Blake Builder. First 2 wins, he beat 2 dudes I've never fucking heard of. And for his 4 losses, can you really be mad at any of them? Volk is Volk. Ludovic Klein, yeah, that's not great. Omar Morales, yeah, it gets worse. Blake Builder, yeah, it got worse. Like, losing to Volk, beyond understandable. It's fucking Volk, the best fighter in the world. It happens. Bless me. Fuck. Sorry. Back to what I was saying. Ludovic Klein, that's fine. Ludovic's a 55er, Young's a 45er. It happens, what can you say? Then Omar Morales, that's not great. And then Blake Builder, it's like, that's bad. And the thing with his last 3 fights, but we'll say his last 2 fights, he's just not been fighting. He kind of fights, but he's just not even trying too hard. Like, let's be honest, Blake Builder and Omar Morales are not good fighters. You should not be clearly losing to Blake Builder and Omar Morales in 2023 and 2021. So, yeah, I'm confused, but he just looks like he has no passion anymore. And especially since today, literally a couple hours ago, he missed weight. Cause they already did weigh-ins, they do weigh-ins Thursday night because it's in Australia. He missed, he weighed in at 149.5. I know 149 might be a half. He just doesn't seem like he gives a fuck anymore. He's literally just fighting to get a paycheck, it seems. Like, this is his last chance. This is the lowest level fighter he's fought since these 2 dudes. And if he loses, it's over. He needs this win. And if he can't look good and get it, if he can't, fuck the win. Well, actually, no, he needs to win. But if he gets the win and doesn't even look that good, it's over. he needs to look bare fucking minimum 30-25, this motherfucker. But I don't know if he even will. He just looks like he has no passion anymore. The dude's only fucking 30. And he looks like he fights like he's fucking 39. Like, why does he have like no passion for fighting anymore? What, does he want to be cut? Jesus, fucking weird. So, whatever. Weird. To talk about his opponent, Gabriel Miranda. Gabriel is 0-1 in the UFC. His UFC debut was against Benoit Saint Denis. He got killed on short notice. People can't get mad at it. Very little to say about him. He mainly wants to get you to the ground. That's where all of his wins come pretty much. He has 1 KO. He showed nothing positive in the Benoit fight, but you were fighting Benoit Saint Denis. I really don't expect you to look good. And again, it was in short notice in Paris, so yeah, I don't know, maybe he's good. A lot of submissions. A lot of fucking submissions. He'll probably be better on the ground this fight. He's probably the worst, definitely the lamer striker. So, yeah, this is a step down for him, and he's at 45, his real weight class. So, it's gonna be interesting to see how he does in this fight. So, yeah. Let's see if he's any good. The betting odds for this fight have Shane Young at minus 165 to plus 140. I don't know. Like, logically, Jung should be minus 200, but realistically, he should be more like minus 120, which is sad. Like, on paper, just forgetting all their fights, Jung should be Jung should win this easily. But do you really think he's gonna? I don't. I can't trust him. I just can't trust him at this point. He has no passion, it seems. He's lost to 2 shit fighters back to back. And he's just missing weight was the nail in the coffin for me, just having no faith in him. Like, if he would have made weight and looked ready to fight, then it would have been a different story, but now he missed weight by a good chunk. He just does not care. So if he doesn't care, you don't want to pick a guy who has no fire left. So, who am I going with in this fight? I'm going the underdog. I'm going Gabriel Miranda. Shane looks like he has no fucking fire left in the tank. So, I'm gonna go Miranda, dude who I feel is gonna have all the fire in the world because he knows he has to win this fight. Because he got completely fucked by Benoit Saint Denis, so, yeah. My pick, Gabriel Miranda. I'm gonna go Miranda by decision. I think there's a chance he could just fucking be able to keep it on the ground, control him, or maybe he will win on the feet. Who knows? But, and he goes to a good gym, MMA Masters. That's a pretty decent named gym. Got so many fighters in it, so, yeah. My pick, Gabriel Miranda by decision. Let's see, I think he can do the upset if Shane Young shows up like he has in his last couple fights. So, yeah, Miranda by decision. And for our last feature, early prelim, we head to welterweight for a fight that is lower level than low level, as we got Mike Mathetha, I'm not calling him by his awesome nickname, versus Charlie Chuck Buffalo Radtke. Not gonna say much. My pick is Charlie. Until Blood Diamond shows me anything positive, I'm not picking him. He's fucking terrible. And yeah, he literally might be the worst fighter on a UFC roster. He's looked like a pathetic joke in his first UFC fights. How the fuck did he grapple this guy? In other news, actually no, that was a real fight. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm going Charlie Radtke. He should be able to just rip through Blood Diamond, get to the ground, submit him, win. So I'm going Radtke by submission in the first Blood Diamond is a joke. So, yeah, not much to say. Radtke submission in the first. Like I said, this might be a short breakdown because I don't have much to say. Those are the early prelims. Little to say. Here, time to move on to the real prelims, which I actually have more to say. Not for this first fight, because this first fight is Nasrat Haqparast versus Landon the Lone Wolf Quinones. Not gonna waste your time. Nasrat is the second easiest pick of the night. Without not counting Manel Kape, he is the lock of the night, and he's gonna easily run through Lando. Lando's a terrible fighter. He was on Tough. He looked terrible. Jason Knight embarrassed him in 55 seconds. And yeah, Nasrat Haqparast is going to destroy him. So I'm going Nasrat by decision. Should be the easiest one of his career. Not much to say. After that, we head to a fight I actually will break down because it's actually worth breaking down. Again, this could easily be fight of the night. This screams a banger. As we have Jamie Mullarkey versus John the Bull Makdessi. Let's talk about Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie in the UFC is 4-4. His 4 wins: Kama Worthy, Devontae Smith, Michael Johnson, and Francisco Prado. His 4 losses: Brad Riddell, Faraz Ziam, Jalen Turner, and Muhammad Naimov. For his 4 wins, Kama and Devontae are not great wins. Michael Johnson is a decent win in a great fight. And then Prado, that's aging better by that's gonna age better and better. For his 4 losses, Riddell was good at one point, maybe. Ziam, that's a bad loss. Ziam's not good. Jalen Turner, nothing to be mad at. And Naimov, I don't know. I think that's a bad stoppage, to be honest. Whatever. Jamie's a fun fighter. He's not very technical. He's just a fun fighter. He goes in there and goes to war. You'll knock him out or he'll knock you out. He just goes to war. The Michael Johnson fight showed that. He fought smarter in the Prado fight, but I think he just saw holes in the game. But then the Johnson fight, one of the best fights of last year, he just went to war. And that's what he wants to do. He just wants to stand and trade till someone drops. So he's a decent striker. He has decent power. His chin gets weaker and weaker because he just takes a lot of damage. And he is getting older. He's only 29. That's not old, but he's already damage-wise probably up to like 34. So yeah, he's not a bad fighter. His grappling's there. It's not bad. It's not great. So yeah, he's a very solid fighter. He's of course outside the top 15, but he'd be like top 25 guy, because I think he probably is. He's fine. He's a fun fighter. He can strike, and he's not he's not stupid on the ground. So yeah, yeah, not very much to say. He's just like everything I could say about Jamie Mullarkey. I said. Fine on the feet, capable on the ground. Simple as that. So, yeah, not really much more to say. He can, he knows what he's doing. He's a fun fighter, and it's a good one. He's just coming off a bad loss. So, yeah. To talk about his opponent, John Makdessi, back after another long layoff. In the UFC, Makdessi is 11-8. Not gonna go over all his wins because he's been in the UFC since 2009. 10, my bad. But to name some of his bigger wins, Sam Stout, that was a decent name at the time. Abel, Ross Pearson, Ignacio Bob Montez is his best one in the UFC. I'll talk about that fight more in a minute. His losses are all like outside of his first one. Even that because that dude has a crazy fucking record. That might not be a bad loss, but like most of his losses, you understand. Anthony fucking Njokuani, Alan Patrick, Cowboy, Medeiros, Lando, Trinaldo, Nasrat. Yeah, they're understandable. So. Talk about his best UFC win and his last win, Hernandez. This fight showed Makdessi is a dog. I don't think most people knew that. He just went to war with this kid and came out on top. It was a fun fight, and props to both guys. Makdessi, 35 years old, was able to hang with the way younger dude. And then his last fight, literally about a year ago, this was in Paris? Why do I not remember this? He got clearly beat from what I remember. Very terrible fight. And yeah, for just nothing great to say about this fight, besides he just lost to a dude in Nasrat who's pretty good. The big red flag from him, he is 38, and again, he has been in the UFC since 2010. But besides that, he can still go. Like that, he just had a war with Ignacio Mendes 2.5 years ago. So he can still go, I think. And it's gonna be a fun fight. Like I said, this could easily be fight of the night. With how these two fight and how these two want to fight, this could be fight of the night for sure. And I won't be shocked if it is at all, because these are fun fighters. The betting odds for this fight have Jamie Mullarkey minus 190 to plus 155. Yeah, I agree. You can make Jamie even minus 200. He should be just a better fighter here. He's 9 years younger. He's not taking as much damage as Makdessi, and he should be able to just be better. I don't remember Makdessi's ground game, but Mullarkey might be able to be better on the ground, and on the feet he will be better. So yeah, not very much to say. This will probably be a fun fight, but overall Mullarkey will just be winning it most. He might get dropped or some shit, but he'll get back up and probably win the fight. So my pick for this fight is Jamie Mullarkey by decision. Should be able to just go to war, come out on top, and that'll be that. So yeah, not much more to say. Mullarkey by decision. After that, we head to the third fight of the prelims, and this one I might have a very controversial pick, as we have Jack Farr Jenkins versus Chepe Machine Gun Mariscal. Let's talk about Jack Jenkins. Jack in the UFC is 2-0 coming off the Contender Series. I've not been impressed with his first two UFC fights. Against Don Chanis, he clearly won, but not finishing him and not looking that good is disappointing. And then in the second fight, only a couple months ago, it was a razor close fight with Jamal Emmers. A lot of people say he lost this fight. It's debatable. And yeah, he looked pretty bad in this fight at times. Now he's fighting Chepe, who you could either say is a step down or a step up from Emmers. I say it's not about the same. Maybe a little bit of a step up. And yeah, Jack really needs to show the guy he was on a Contender Series and even before that. Because on a Contender Series, and he looked good. He looked really good. But ever since getting into UFC, he's just looked very underwhelming. And this is his third fight this year, which is good and bad. Second time in Australia. Of course, the Shayna's fight was in Australia. And yeah, he really needs to show up this fight. Like, if he wins this fight, he has to look like dominant or like get a finish, because again, he's looked really underwhelming in his first two UFC fights. So yeah, Jack I think has all the talent, just he's looked very underwhelming in his couple fights. So maybe he can look good in this one. I should talk about his opponent, Chepe. Chepe is gonna test him. Like, Chepe is 1-0 in the UFC. He came in on short notice and beat Trevor Peek in a war. Yeah, him and Trevor had one of the best fights of the year. And this was up a weight class for Chepe. He's a 45er, really. And he was able to fucking end the hype of Peek as quick as it started. Yeah, he showed durability, he showed heart, a good gas tank, and he won. Now going back down to 45. Let's see how he does. Yeah, actually, this is on the same card as Jenkins. That's interesting. Yeah, not much to say about Chepe. He seems like a really well-rounded fighter. He can strike and go to the ground. He's very well-rounded. He's 30 years old, finally getting his chance in UFC, and so far he made a good deal for himself. And I talked about this in his first UFC fight, and I'll do it again. He's already fought some pretty decent competition. Carl Deaton, who's in the UFC, Pat Sabatini, Yusuf Zalal, fucking Joe Anderson Brito, Steve Garcia. So he's fought some decent competition. He just didn't beat him. Well, he beat fucking Pat Sabatini, which has aged amazingly. So I think he. Oh, and Bryce fucking Mitchell. I'm sorry that I went over him. Yeah, Chepe's good. I think he's very underrated. I think he could become very underrated. Because he had a war with Peak because he had to. That's how Peak fights. So, yeah. I think he could really shock people in this fight. I really think he can shock people. He might not be technically as good, but I think he can. He's very well rounded, like Jenkins. Striking, like to just talk about this fight overall, striking wise, I think I give the advantage to Jenkins, just technical. But if we're going ground, like wrestling, I think I give it to Chepe. So, this is going to be an interesting fight. I'm very excited for this fight. I think this is going to answer a lot of questions about Jack Jenkins. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Jack Jenkins minus 220 to plus 175. I disagree heavily. I think excuse me. I kind of agree with Jenkins being the favorite, but I would say maybe like minus 130, 140. He should not be minus 200. That's a little much. And I just don't see him minus 200 with how he's looking at his first two fights. So, yeah. And like I said, don't count, people count out Chepe against Peak. I did also. I learned. Our other people clearly didn't. So, yeah. But now to answer the question, who am I going with in this fight? I'm going the underdog. I'm going Chepe Mariscal. If Peak has looked beatable, Jenkins has looked very beatable, and if Chepe has watched the right tape and has seen the right things, I think he can exploit it and beat Jenkins. Jenkins just fought, so did Chepe, but Jenkins just fought 2.5 months ago. He looked beatable. He probably lost. And Chepe, I think, could exploit those holes that there clearly are in Jenkins' game. So, my pick for the fight is going to be Chepe Mariscal by decision. I think he might. I don't see him finishing Jack, so most likely it's decision or nothing for Chepe. So, I'm going to go Chepe by, and for both guys, it's going to go to decision, no doubt. So, my pick for this fight is going to be Chepe Mariscal. I think he can upset Jenkins, and let's see if I'm right or stupid. So, I'm going Chepe Mariscal by decision. And to end off the prelims, we have a pretty fun light heavyweight fight that probably won't go long, as we have our featured prelim: Carlos Black Jag Ulberg versus Sida Da Jung. Fun fight. Let's talk about Carlos Ulberg. Carlos in the UFC is 4-1, coming up to Contender Series. He had a really bad start into the UFC career, but he's really woken up, especially the last 2 to 3 fights. In his UFC debut, he had the war with Kenti and Zechiku, which was a great fight. Showed that he has heart, but he lost, and that really hurt him. But luckily that loss made him better. And then he went on to have a really terrible performance against Fabio Charant, but then it started happening. He ran through Tafa and Chukwui, as you should. He ran through Nicolau Negumerianu, which I did not expect to happen. I thought Nicolau was a really good fighter and was going to be able to win. Nah, Ulberg destroyed him. And then his last fight, only a couple months ago, he ran through Ihor Potieria. And now Ulberg's looking like the guy the UFC and people expect him to be. He's looking like he can be a top 15 light heavyweight. And he's looking great. He's very powerful, very good kickboxer. I don't think we've seen his ground game at all in UFC yet, and I'm guessing it's probably okay, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. Yeah, he's, again, his left hand's super powerful. He's gotta win back-to-back times with it. And he's about fighting, like, his biggest step up in competition was in Vechiku, and he's lost, but besides that, he's been fighting about the same level of competition. Even Jung's about the same level, and he's been able to pass with flying colors, so can he do it again? Probably. He's really good. So, yeah, he's only 32 years old, so he's in the prime of his career, so let's see how he does. To talk about his opponent, Jung. Has had a weird UFC career. He's 4-2-1. His 4 wins are that guy, Mike Rodriguez, William Knight, and Kendi Nzechukwu. That's interesting. His 2 losses are Dustin Jacoby and Devin Clark, and his 1 draw is against Sam Alvey. Don't ask. He looked really good in the UFC. He looked powerful, quick. He looked good in his first 5 fights besides the Alvey fight. And then he fought Dustin Jacoby and got flatlined. Then he fought Devin Clark and just got out-wrestled. Yeah, it's been pretty bad for Da in his last couple UFC fights. But maybe we can get back on track here. I doubt it. But you never know. He could clip Ulberg, but that's the only way of winning. Clipping him and finishing him, because any other way it's just probably not gonna happen. So yeah, so not really much to say. Maybe Da could get back on track, but he's pretty much just cannon fodder in this fight, so yeah, not much to say. The betting odds for this fight have Carlos Ulberg minus 295 to plus 225. Sure, yeah, Ulberg should be a decent favorite. 250 I would probably put him at, but if you want to put him 295, fine. Yeah, Carlos Ulberg's gonna win this fight. I really don't think that's rocket science. So, yeah, Ulberg's gonna win. And I'm gonna go Carlos Ulberg by knockout in the first. He should be able to clip Jung's chin like Jacoby did and get the win. So I'm going Carlos Ulberg by knockout in the first. Really nothing special about it. So, yeah. Those are the prelims. Overall, the last 3 fights are pretty good. This is gonna be a beating. No, why is he in the UFC? Low level. Who? So, like, yeah, it ends well, but it begins shitty. And, so, yeah, at least we get 3 good prelim fights. And then we head into the main card. They want $90 for this. Jesus Christ. So, enough talk. Let's talk about the main card, which begins with a shit fight between Tyson Pedro versus the pleasure man Anton Turkalj. Not gonna talk about Tyson Pedro. The dude's garbage. He is get a finish in the first 2 minutes or I am gassed. So he's not worth my time. You talk about his opponent though, Anton Turkalj. Anton in the UFC is 0-2, coming off not coming off contender series, but he is 0-2. In his first 2 UFC fights, we don't talk about Gialtin fights, that didn't even count. In his last fight against Vitor Petrino, he showed heart. He didn't look good. He didn't win, obviously. He showed heart. And I think that could be a big reason why he wins this week. And because Vitor is 10 times better than Tyson Pedro. So, if Anton was able to survive, Vitor would probably is harder and is a better fighter. Pedro is fucked. So, yeah, gonna be very... Anton's not a very good fighter, but he's tough. He can go to the ground, kind of. He can strike, kind of. So, yeah, just overall, he's alright. He's better than Tyson Pedro. So, and I didn't even know he had this win, but yeah, he has a win over this guy who literally just got a contract on a Contender Series like 2 weeks ago. So that's a good win. That's aging really well for Anton. So yeah, very interesting. Very not much more to say about Anton. He's a better fighter in this fight. So yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Tyson Pedro -130 to +110. Disagree. Anton should be the favorite. Anton should be like -150. Pedro's garbage. He only beats cans. Like, let's look at his UFC wins real quick. He has 5. Khalil Roundtree, Paul Craig. Those are nice, but Roundtree sucked. It has those off nights. Paul Craig's not good. Safarov, And then, my god, could you fight lower level fighters? 18 and 14, yay. He's terrible, so, yeah, he's probably the worst. Never mind. So, yeah, not gonna waste time. My pick here is Anton Turkalj. He should win this. It's Tyson Pedro, who's shitty. And yeah, I'm gonna go the pleasure man to get his first UFC win. And I'm gonna go Anton Turkalj by... I'm gonna go knockout / pretty much a TKO in a second. Pedro's gonna be gassed as fuck. And Turkalj will rain down some ground and pound and get the win, I feel. So I'm gonna go Anton Turkalj by TKO in the second. I'm actually confident, to be honest with you. So yeah, Turkalj TKO in a second. After that, we go to heavyweight for a rematch between Justin Badman Tafa versus Austen Lane. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you want to see my breakdown for this fight, because I have nothing new to say, I have the same pick on all that. Just go watch my breakdown of this fight on the Emmett Tapoya card. I have the same pick. I'm putting in the same pick. I'm sticking with Austen Lane, and besides that, everything I think about this fight stands from the first breakdown. So I'm not gonna break down this fight again, because literally the first fight showed nothing. And yeah, I'm still going Austen Lane by knockout in the first. If you want a breakdown, go watch Emmett Tapoya. The timestamps are in the description always. After that, another fight I'm not going to talk about. Manel Kape's going to knock this kid out. Lock of the night. Next. After that, we head to the co-main event of the evening. We have a heavyweight banger between Bam Tuivasa versus Alexander Drago Volkov. Let's talk about Tuivasa. Ty in the UFC is 8-5. I'm not gonna go down the UFC career because we all know Ty. Ty is just like Derek Lewis. Everyone says they passed the torch for a reason. He's just a brawler. He's not skilled. He's powerful and he hits hard. And everyone loves him, so he's Ty Tuivasa, man. He's gonna knock you out and drink a beer, or you're gonna destroy him. So, yeah, happy did take a layoff after that terrible performance against Popovich. And let's see how he does after a layoff. We know what Ty's gonna try and do. He's gonna try and knock you out. Let's see if he can do it. Did you talk about his opponent, Alexander Volkov? Volkov's 10 times more technically sound. He is 10-4 in UFC. His only losses are to Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, Cyril Gane, and Tom Aspinall. So he's only losing to the 2 good fighters and these 2 cans. So, and all his wins are, dude, he has a lot of good wins. Fucking, just go down his wins, a couple of his big wins. Roy Nelson, Stefan Struve, Fabricio Werdum, Walt Harris, Overeem, Tybura, Rosenstrike, Romanov. He beats pretty much anyone. He's pretty much he's a kind of a underrated just gatekeeper. He fights everyone. And he's not a terrible fighter. I've grown respect for him. He's fine. He's perfectly fine. So, he's like the most middle of the road heavyweight you can get. So, yeah, really not much to say. He's gonna try to fight smart in this. He's gonna just try and pick Ty apart at range because he's way longer. He has a 5-inch reach advantage and a giant height advantage. Fucking 5 inches there too. So, yeah, not really much to say. We know what these two are gonna try and do, but who do I think is gonna succeed? The betting odds have Volkov minus 200. I sadly agree. But no matter what, bias is going to lead me to pick Tuivasa, the only fighter I actually care about on this card, the only fighter I'm a fan of on this card. Tuivasa. I will always pick Ty, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So I'm going Tuivasa by knockout in the first. I highly doubt it happens, but you never know. Ty and that power, you can't count out. And Volkov has been clipped before, so yeah. Not very much more to say. Tuivasa by knockout. And for our main event, I'm not going to click on this fight. I don't care. It's going to be a shitty fight for 25 minutes. I don't care. The best part of the fight happened already, the press conference. So, yeah. Who's my pick? Izzy's gonna win. I'm gonna pick Strickland because he's more likable, and fuck Izzy. So, yeah, not much more to say. So, boom. 36 minutes, one of the shortest breakdowns you'll get, because I didn't break down, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights. But to tell you why, who the fuck are these guys? You're not worth to break down. Why are you here? Ari broke it down. We already know who's gonna win, and no one cares. So, yeah. But to go over my picks one last time, Gabriel Miranda by decision, Charlie Radtke by submission in the first, Nasrat Haqparast by decision, Mullarkey by decision, Chepe Mariscal by decision, Ulberg knockout in the first, Anton Turkalj by TKO in the second, Austen by knockout in the first, Manel Kape by knockout in the first, Tuivasa by knockout in the first, and Strickland by decision. A bang, a boom, there you go. Those are my picks. And, yeah, I already got a little to say about this card because I don't care. It should be in the fucking Apex. So, yeah. You'll get a better breakdown next week for UFC Noche, I believe. Is how it's said. Grasso versus Shevchenko 2. I can't wait. Kevin Holland, Jack Della Maddalena, Tracy Cortez, Jasmine Jasdavicius. Who else is on that card? A couple others. Yeah, I'm excited for that card. That's more of a pay-per-view than this garbage. And, yeah, not very much more to say. I'll recap this card Sunday 1 p.m. EST, or Monday 10 a.m. EST, 10 a.m. EST. And unless I'm going to say something, tell me your picks down below, what you think of the card, whatever you want to fucking tell me. Please like, comment, sub. 100 subs go by the end of the year. And as always, RX out. Tuivasa is the real main event.